Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief Show. I'm your host, Jenny. Today, we're diving into some hot topics. First up, oil prices surged over 8% following Israel's strike on Iran, escalating geopolitical tensions and causing Asian markets to dip slightly. The situation keeps investors on edge, balancing fears of conflict with signs of economic optimism in the U.S. markets. Next, Meta Platforms is cracking down on a local Hong Kong startup, Joy Timeline HK Limited, for creating an AI app called CrushAI that generates explicit images without consent. This legal move highlights Meta's commitment to fighting harmful content and protecting user safety in the digital space. Finally, the gig economy in Hong Kong is under the spotlight as workers demand better protections. With high earnings but little safety net, writers like John Lam face risks from injuries and job insecurity. The government is considering new regulations to strike a balance between flexibility and safety. Please continue to watch for more details. According to Associated Press, the Asian markets experienced a significant downturn in response to escalating geopolitical tensions, sparked by Israel's military strike on Iran's capital. The attack targeted Iran's nuclear and missile sites, raising fears of a broader conflict in the Middle East. Oil prices surged sharply, with benchmark crude climbing over 8% to $73.61 per barrel, reflecting concerns over supply disruptions. Major Asian indices such as Japan's Nikkei 225 and South Korea's Kospi declined by over 1%, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng and China's Shanghai Composite saw modest drops. Despite the turbulence, analysts like Su Tiachin suggested that Asian markets might recover swiftly due to their limited exposure to the conflict and strong ties with unaffected regional allies like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Meanwhile, in the United States, markets gained modestly following better-than-expected inflation data, with the S&P 500, Dow, and Nasdaq all rising slightly, buoyed by easing Treasury yields and hopes for future interest rate cuts amid concerns about inflation and employment figures. South China Morning Post reports that the geopolitical crisis also intensified concerns over digital safety and corporate accountability, exemplified by Meta Platforms' legal action against a Hong Kong-based company. Meta sued Joy Timeline HK Limited for promoting CrushAI, an app that uses artificial intelligence to generate explicit images of individuals without their consent. The tech giant accused the company of repeatedly attempting to bypass ad review processes through disguising content and landing pages, highlighting Meta's commitment to combating harmful AI applications. The lawsuit underscores the growing challenge of regulating AI-driven content and protecting user rights amid a proliferation of notify apps. Meanwhile, in Hong Kong, local stocks experienced a slight decline of 0.4%, with technology shares suffering the most due to rising geopolitical tensions and fears of global instability. The broader Asian markets reflected this cautious sentiment, with indices in Japan, South Korea, and Australia all retreating, while certain property and resource stocks gained on rising oil prices and positive earnings reports, such as Chow Tai Fook Jeweller's strong financial results. The situation remains tense as Israel strikes heighten fears of regional escalation, impacting both financial markets and technological landscapes across Asia. South China Morning Post highlights Bruce Springsteen's multifaceted life, both on and off stage. While touring Europe and sharing memorable moments with Paul McCartney, Springsteen also openly discusses his political views, expressing concern for America's future as a proud Democrat. Despite his global fame, Springsteen's children, Evan and Samuel, prefer to stay out of the limelight, choosing their own paths. Evan, a talented musician, has made a name for himself as a music programmer at Apple, following in his parents' footsteps, while Samuel has committed himself to service as a firefighter, embodying a grounded and respectful masculinity that Springsteen deeply admires. The singer's pride in their character shines through, emphasizing their sensitivity and modern outlook, which contrasts with traditional notions of manhood. The South China Morning Post also transports readers to Hong Kong's vibrant cultural scene amid stormy weather, offering a variety of indoor activities to enjoy. The city's music lovers can indulge in the 21st anniversary celebration of the Underground, a renowned live music platform, at the Fringe Club, where over 20 bands will perform, showcasing everything from indie pop to blues and synth-driven sounds. For those seeking relaxation and mindfulness, a crystal and Tibetan singing bowl workshop promises a soothing escape, teaching sound healing techniques that benefit mind, body, and spirit. Additionally, wine enthusiasts can immerse themselves in vinyl and wine evenings at Think Wine, pairing records with wines from around the world, while fashion aficionados are invited to explore the Japanese brand Kami's pop-up at Sogo, featuring stylish, comfortable, and meticulously crafted garments designed for modern women. Finally, the report on severe tropical storm Wudup underscores Hong Kong's resilient response to weather challenges. The Hong Kong Observatory maintains the #1 typhoon warning signal as Wudup moves away from the city but warns of increasing wind speeds and heavy squally showers. The storm, although distant, prompts residents to stay cautious, advising against water sports and beach outings, while winds are expected to strengthen later in the day, especially on higher ground. As Wudup gradually weakens and shifts northeastward, the city prepares for calmer conditions by Sunday, with winds easing and the storm moving further inland. This cautious vigilance exemplifies Hong Kong's preparedness and resilience in the face of nature's unpredictable power. The South China Morning Post vividly illustrates the plight and aspirations of Hong Kong's gig economy workers, especially food delivery riders like John Lam and Ahmad. Lam, earning around 45,000 Hong Kong dollars to 50,000 Hong Kong dollars a month, emphasizes the importance of safety over speed, highlighting the precarious nature of gig work where accidents mean minimal benefits. Both workers express a desire for government regulation to secure employee rights such as paid leave, sick leave, and injury compensation, amid ongoing protests and calls for legislative reforms. Experts warn against overregulation, which could compromise the flexibility that attracts many to gig work, while policymakers are considering a balanced approach, potentially introducing a third employment category akin to Britain's model, that offers some protections without stripping away workers' independence. The government and industry stakeholders are urged to collaborate on establishing fair, transparent rules that safeguard workers from illegal practices and ensure basic rights, with some officials emphasizing ongoing dialogue and stricter identity checks to combat illegal employment and wage suppression. The South China Morning Post's coverage of Hong Kong's drivers preparing for the Le Mans endurance race captures the excitement and challenges faced by local talents in a sport hampered by infrastructural limitations. Jonathan Hui and Antares O, both from Hong Kong, are making their debut at the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans, a grueling test of endurance, skill, and mental stamina. Hui, who has competed in over 10 endurance races, describes the race's unique demands, balancing high-speed overtaking, managing competing cars, and staying alert for 24 hours straight, highlighting the intense physical and mental toll. O, who left a finance career to pursue racing full-time, reflects on the scarcity of local racing facilities, which forces talented drivers to travel abroad to develop their skills. Both see their participation as a source of inspiration for aspiring Hong Kong racers, hoping to someday nurture local motorsport infrastructure and talent, despite the current lack of dedicated tracks and support systems. The South China Morning Post also explores the global journey of the humble tomato, showcasing its cultural and culinary significance across continents. Chef Guillaume Galliot's tradition of receiving organic tomatoes from his mother's garden in France exemplifies the fruit's journey from a regional staple to a worldwide delicacy. The story traces tomatoes' origins in South America, their introduction to Europe by Spanish explorers, and their spread through the Columbian exchange, reaching Southeast Asia via Portuguese traders. The narrative highlights how tomatoes have become integral to diverse cuisines, from French dishes to Thai nam prik ong, while also emphasizing their health benefits, rich in antioxidants like lycopene. The evolution of tomato products, such as marinara sauces and sun-dried tomatoes, underscores their commercial importance, with brands like Rao's achieving global success. Despite their ubiquity, the story notes the challenges of quality and taste, especially in regions like Thailand where pesticide use and unripe harvesting affect flavor, prompting chefs and farmers to seek out organic, heirloom varieties to elevate their culinary creations. The South China Morning Post vividly captures the poetic and often contradictory essence of Hong Kong through the lens of Tran On Hung's film, I Come With the Rain. The film, despite its critical panning, emerges as a visual ode to the city's multifaceted character, from neon skyscrapers dissolving into smog to bustling highways and gritty back alleys. Tran's artistry shines in arresting images that evoke the city's contradictions: a blood-flecked face crawling with maggots, a gangster's brutal act in a white body bag, and a car chase shot on the fly, all set to haunting Radiohead melodies that elevate the film into a mood piece rather than a conventional thriller. Hartnett's introspective performance, combined with the film's lyricism and striking visuals, offers a rare, contemplative glimpse into Hong Kong's layered identity, a city of chaos and beauty intertwined, captured through the director's patient, poetic approach that allows viewers to pause and absorb its fleeting moments of splendor amid the darkness. Meanwhile, the South China Morning Post also sheds light on the shifting social landscape in China, where traditional values clash with emerging acceptance of single motherhood. Go Lily's story exemplifies this change, a woman who chose to raise her daughter alone after an unplanned pregnancy, defying long-standing social taboos. Official policies historically marginalized children born outside marriage, but recent regional reforms and social media movements are gradually fostering a more tolerant environment. Women like Go and entrepreneurs like Yi Haiyang challenge the old narrative, advocating for reproductive rights and independence, often seeking fertility services abroad due to domestic restrictions. Despite persistent legal and cultural barriers, such as bans on domestic IVF for single women and fears of inbreeding, a quiet revolution is underway. Younger Chinese women are increasingly embracing autonomy over traditional notions of marriage and motherhood, pushing the boundaries of societal expectations and paving the way for a future where single motherhood might become more normalized, reflecting a subtle but significant shift in China's demographic and cultural fabric. The South China Morning Post further explores the complex geopolitics surrounding Chinese students in the United States, revealing a nuanced shift in American attitudes. President Trump's recent remarks support Chinese students' presence in the U.S., emphasizing their importance for national progress and economic growth, a stark contrast to the earlier crackdown on visas and fears of espionage. While the Trump administration had previously sought to tighten restrictions, citing concerns over technology theft and espionage, his latest comments suggest a recognition of the vital role these students play in U.S. innovation and diplomacy. Despite this rhetorical shift, skepticism persists among Congress members, who remain wary of China's strategic ambitions, from stealing advanced technology to exploiting academic ties, fueling ongoing efforts to bolster export controls and enforcement. The debate encapsulates a broader tension, balancing economic and technological cooperation with national security, as the U.S. navigates its complex relationship with China amid a backdrop of strategic competition and mutual dependency, highlighting the delicate dance of diplomacy and suspicion that defines contemporary international relations. Yahoo US reports that the UK Food Standards Agency has issued a warning to consumers about specific Jolly Rancher candies, including hard candy, Misfits gummies, and berry gummies, due to their contamination with mineral oil aromatic hydrocarbons, MOAH, and mineral oil saturated hydrocarbons, MOSH. These substances violate UK food safety laws and pose a potential cancer risk, especially with prolonged or frequent consumption. The Hershey Company, which manufactures these candies, has already removed the products from the UK market and advised retailers and consumers to cease sales and discard any remaining candies. Despite assurances from Hershey that their products are safe in the US, UK authorities are actively working to recall any remaining stock to protect public health, emphasizing that the presence of mineral oils could lead to DNA damage and increase cancer risk over time. The Sydney Morning Herald details the stock market's positive response to easing inflation figures, with U.S. indices like the S&P 500 and Nasdaq climbing modestly amid optimism about future Federal Reserve rate cuts. The report highlights Oracle's impressive earnings boost, which bolstered the tech sector, and the debut of Chime Financial on the Nasdaq, which surged 46%. Meanwhile, Boeing shares plummeted 4.6% following a tragic crash of its Dreamliner near Ahmedabad, India, shortly after takeoff, with the cause still unknown. The market's upward momentum is fueled by lower Treasury yields and a perception that inflation pressures are easing, encouraging speculation that the Fed may pause or even reduce interest rates later in the year, despite ongoing trade tensions and geopolitical uncertainties. The Sydney Morning Herald also covers James Cummings' decision to leave his family's historic Leilani Lodge in Randwick and accept a contract with the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Cummings, grandson of legendary trainer Bart Cummings, explained that his choice was driven by the desire for stability, clarity for his staff and clients, and the opportunity to focus solely on training horses. The move offers him access to lucrative prize money, low taxes, and a balanced racing schedule, which he believes will benefit his family and career. While he appreciated the chance to return to Leilani Lodge, the uncertainty surrounding its future and his desire for a fresh challenge in Hong Kong ultimately led to his decision to take a season off and immerse himself in the new racing environment, viewing it as an exciting new chapter for himself and his young family. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Turn on the TV screen, see the world unseen. China's on the news tonight, history in the spotlight. Scroll through my phone again, find out where to begin. Stories from the east to west, learning from the very best. News in China every day, learning in a fun new way. From the cities to the farms, feel the heartbeat, feel the charm. Ancient tales in modern times, mountains high and river rhymes. Culture rich in every town, golden driving never down. Every headline a new friend, from beginning to the end, connecting hearts through every word. China's story always first. from beginning to the end, connecting hearts through every